What's going on, guys? I'm Jim Kittredge, and today I'm going to share with you the best deal I've ever done in real estate. I bought a 5-unit apartment building. I was able to increase the value by over $400,000, and I increased the annual return to over $70,000 per year. And the craziest thing about this deal is I bought it just 4 months ago in the middle of a recession with high interest rates. I'm going to break down this entire deal for you, from how I found it, how I structured it, how I increased the value of it, and how I was able to produce such a high annual return in this video so that you can go and copy it in your market. So let's get into it. We're in the middle of a recession. We've got record high interest rates. We haven't seen this kind of interest rate growth in over 40 years.
Reserve is raising the
Fed
interest
is
rate
set to raise interest rates.
Highest inflation in 40 years.
And we've got a ton of uncertainty in the market. If you look at the news or Reddit or YouTube, everything's 50% off, everything's on fire, everything's crashing, the world's coming to an end. Well, in the middle of that type of environment, I found a 5-unit apartment complex that I was not only able to get a killer cash flow the day I bought it, but I was able to negotiate 0% interest rate on it, and it's got a significant value add, a $74,000 a year between cash flow, principal pay down, depreciation, etc., which I'll get into at the end of the video. But it makes $74,000 a year, and I bought it for $370,000. Now, the way I found this deal, it was actually listed on the MLS with a real estate agent, and as soon as I saw it listed, I called and had a conversation with him, told him a little bit about myself, the properties I'm buying, what I'm looking for, and most importantly, that I'd want to send a all-cash offer within the next hour with a proof of funds, but also to learn a little bit more about what the seller's motivation was in selling the property and what they're looking for. The agent ended up telling me that the seller inherited a lot of properties and they're selling them. They're looking to retire, so they want to maximize the sale price. Now, when I hear someone wants to maximize the sale price and they're going into retirement, I immediately think, hey, seller financing might be a great solution. So to help prime that, I told the agent, hey, I'm going to send you an all-cash offer with a proof of funds. Just give me an hour to put it together. But I would also, if they're open to it, like to send another offer where I can pay a significant premium if the seller is willing to seller finance it. And this is really important to mention to a listing agent, and I'm going to pay the closing cost out of pocket and your listing commission in full at closing. This is important because ultimately everyone wants to know how they're going to get paid. So I just nip it right in the bud and tell him on the phone. And he says, hey, I think they might be interested in that. So within the next hour, I underwrote the property, made sure everything checked out. I sent him an all-cash offer for $300,000, as well as a second offer with him seller financing it for $350,000. So we ended up going under contract at $390,000. It was very competitive with a lot of other people bidding. The terms of the seller financing that we finalized was, most importantly to me, 0% interest, a 20-year loan with no balloon, and $40,000 down, with me paying both the listing agent's commission of 3% and all closing costs. So pretty hefty investment on my part. I think the total I had just to buy the property was like $58,000, which might sound like a lot, but if you were to buy the property with a bank, they'd want you to put, 25 to 30% down, plus your closing cost. So I saved a lot of money on what I had to bring to the table. So the really important thing about the seller financing is that I got it at 0% interest, which means that every time I, write a check for the mortgage, it pays down my loan in full, so that brings my equity up by the same amount. So if, let's say, the mortgage payment's $1,000 a month at 0% interest, every time you pay that $1,000 bill, your net worth goes up by $1,000 because the loan went down and therefore your equity went up. So it is really powerful when you're able to get seller financing at a low interest rate or 0% interest. It's fantastic. So I got the property under contract at $390,000. And I was really excited about it because from the outside, it looked like it needed, maybe $20,000 for the work. Looked like it needed a new roof. Looks like we had to fix some water issues where it's getting into like the siding, as well as repaint the outside to make it look nice. But overall, the inside looked really nice. Like, look at some of these pictures we have here of the property. The pictures that were given were, unfortunately, of the one unit that was fully renovated this year. The other units, while they weren't in horrible shape, they didn't look like they'd been renovated in, 10 or 20 years. So they were just outdated. Now, that's fine. That's not a big deal. But it wasn't what I expected. It wasn't what I was told. So we ended up going back to the seller and asking for a $20,000 price reduction because not only did we have to, get a new roof, fix the water damage, paint the outside, but we also had to bring these 4 units up to speed to be similar condition as the one unit that's renovated. And after some back and forth, they accepted the $20,000 price drop. So we ended up closing on it for $370,000. So at purchase, we bought it for $370,000 and I put $40,000 down plus an additional $18,000 in closing costs and real estate agent commissions. The property was rented for $2,875 a month. With a mortgage payment of $1,375 a month, that still produces some very solid cash flow of over $5,000 a year in cash flow and a cash-on-cash return of 9%. Now, honestly, I would do this deal even if I couldn't raise rents with 0% financing because 100% of that monthly mortgage goes to my equity in the property because it's paying down the loan. So this is really a very good deal with 0% financing. If I were to take this to a bank, it would not have been as attractive because I'd have to pay interest, and current interest rates are like in the 7%, 8% range, and the deal likely would not have cash flowed. So with the existing rents, we still did all right, but there is significant room for improvement. So this is what it looks like on the outside. We actually painted it black, which I know can be polarizing. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, if you guys love it or hate it, or if you think we should paint it a different color. I personally like it. I dig it. It fits the mountain vibe where it's located. So after we renovated the property, the exterior, fixed the water damage, fixed the roof, went through the units and fixed all the deferred maintenance, as well as did a full renovation to one of the units, we ended up spending $40,000 on renovation, and we'll likely continue to spend more as a unit turns. We'll do a renovation and bring it up to market rents. So at this point, I've got $98,000 invested in this property. And one of the things that made this deal so attractive in the first place is the rents were significantly below market rate. Market rate for this property is about $6,500 per month, and the existing rents were just at half of that. So after improving the property and doing the renovations, taking care of all the safety issues, all the deferred maintenance, as well as just making it a much better looking property and more enjoyable to live in, I was able to increase the rents to $4,900 a month, and that would give them about a 25% discount to where the market rates would be if they were to go somewhere else or find another property. So the tenants are still getting a great deal. So by increasing the rents to $4,900 per month, I was able to increase the annual cash flow from just $5,000 a year to over $27,000 a year, which is a 27% return for cash on cash. But my annual return was over 75%. Now, I know a lot of people say, wait a second, your cash on cash return is 27%. Why is your annual return 75%? That's a huge jump. Where did that come from? And I want to break them all down for you because a lot of people miss these. The first way you get paid is by cash flow. And on this deal in particular, I'm making $27,000 per year in cash flow. The second way you get paid in real estate is through what's called principal paydown, which is how much you're paying down your mortgage every single month or year. This property was financed at 0% seller financing, so 100% of the payments I make towards that mortgage actually apply to the principal because there's no interest being charged. So I'm making $16,500 a year in mortgage payments, and all of that goes towards my principal paydown, which builds up equity. The third way you get paid is through the tax benefits of owning real estate. Now, on a standard depreciation curve, this is going to produce over $4,800 a year in depreciation, which I can apply to my other sources of income. Now, the fourth way you get paid in real estate is through what's called appreciation. If you invest in a property over the long term, the last 100 plus years, properties have appreciated between 2 to 5% a year, and there's some bumpiness in that curve, and that's okay and to be expected. I use the number of 3% annual appreciation. My market is a growing market with new jobs, new population moving here. It's got good weather, good affordability, and it's actually outperformed that by quite a bit, but I still use 3%. So on this deal, on the current value at 3%, it's gonna appreciate over $25,000 a year. You add all of those up and you get a total annual return of $74,000 per year, which is absolutely fantastic. It's a 75% annual return on my $98,000 invested. But what makes this deal really the best one I've ever done is I was able to increase the rent and therefore the net operating income of the property, and that increased the value to over $850,000. Now, I bought it for $370,000. I put another $40,000 in a renovation and just call it another $20,000 in closing costs, which brings my total cost up to $430,000 and a current value of over $850,000. So that created $400,000 in equity while producing a $74,000 return every single year. So that's why this was the best deal I've ever done in real estate, and I hope to outdo it soon, but currently it's the best deal I've done, and I did it in the middle of a recession. So a lot of investors, especially newer ones, might see this and say, hey, this is a great deal. Like, I can't wait to do that kind of deal one day. But I don't have the 100 grand to do it. Like, what do I do now? The truth of it is, if you find a deal like this and are able to structure it appropriately so it produces a return anywhere near this, there are going to be a ton of investors who would love to partner with you, and they can bring the money that's required for the purchase price or the down payment or the renovations, and they'll partner with you. Like, I could have brought this to a buddy of mine, and he would gladly give me the 100 grand and split the upside 50-50. I could also bring it to a private lender who might lend $100,000 and be in second position. But the most important thing is being able to find the deal, structure the deal, and then you figure out the financing. If you can find a deal and structure it so it's like this, you will have a ton of people that want to do it with you. I have no doubt in my mind that I could go to a real estate investment meetup in my local area, raise my hand, say, hey, I've got a deal, seller finance, 0% interest. It's about $100,000 to, put down and renovate it, but it's going to produce a 75% return a year. I'm open to splitting that with a financial partner who's got the 100 grand to invest into it. I will protect your money so that you get your money out first at refi or sale. Like, there'll be a lot of people who are interested in doing a deal like that. So do not let not having the money scare you away. Go figure out how to find the deal and structure it so it's a win-win for everybody. And if it's a good enough deal, you're gonna find people that want to partner with you. So till the next one, guys, I hope you subscribe, comment, click the bell, whatever it is to get alerts. But look forward to going over more deals with you guys.